Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening mga kanyork-nyork, mga classmates rather. Para sa ating lesson for today, we are going to talk about the principles of design. And in this lesson, we are hoping that you'd be able to read design principles behind some effective and thought-provoking art forms and graphic design. Sa mga prinsipyo ng disenyo or principles of design ay mga konsepto o gabay na ginagamit sa paglikha at pag-ayos ng mga elemento sa isang disenyo upang makamit ang isang maayos at makabuluhan na resulta. No? And principles of design are long held composition techniques which have been proven and used by both fine and graphic artists to communicate ideas and concepts effectively. There is a variety of proposed principles, no? But here are some, or ito yung mga pinaka-common sa kanila. First off, number one is we have contrast. Design principle which uses the element of value to create depth and dimension. And light also plays an important role in creating good contrast. Ang contrast ay pagkakaroon ng mga malalim na pagkakaiba sa pagitan ng mga elemento sa disenyo tulad ng kulay, sukat or anyo or iba pang upang magkaroon ng visual na interes at pagkakaiba. So kung naalala ninyo sa ating elements of art, we talked about value. So ito yung pagiging light ng isang bagay. Pagiging light ng isang bagay or sometimes ito yung pagiging dark ng isang bagay. Sa Photoshop or sa iba't ibang mga photo editors ninyo sa mga phones ninyo, ay pwede mong i-adjust individually ang mga values na ito. At dinidivide natin yon sa tatlo usually. And we've got the lighter ones, we call those the highlights. And we've got the mid ones, we call those the mids. And then we call those shadows, yung mga medyo madidilim naman. So saan ang ginagamit ang contrast, ano? Ito yung pagdi-differentiate kung saan yung lighter part ng inyong artwork or saan yung darker part ng inyong artwork. Okay? So for example, ito ay ang tinatamaan ng ilaw ay itong kanyang tuktok ng ating bola at ang hindi tinatamaan ng ilaw ay yung kanyang ilalim. So natural na mas maliwanag dito sa tuktok kaysa dun sa ilalim. And usually may mga shadows pa yan, ano? So here, nalalaman natin through contrast kung saan yung tuktok, saan yung tinatamaan ng ilaw at saan yung hindi. Our next principle is harmony. Harmony, where elements are related to each other in terms of form, color, or theme. Ang harmony ay nagpapakita ng pagkakaroon ng magkasunod na relasyon o pagkakaugnayan sa mga elemento ng disenyo tulad ng paggamit ng pare-parehong kulay, estilo or temang disenyo, no? So here are some examples. Nakita nyo naman, pare-pareho sila ng art style. And this is like a park during the 50s or 60s as evidenced by the different costumes nung panahon pa yata ni Queen Victoria to ng England. So, walang off sa kanila. They are harmonizing in one picture. Okay? So, same here. It's circles which served as fruits. Kung merong naiibang bagay dyan, kunwari merong nahalo dyan nakakaiba, then it is no longer in harmony. So, that is harmony, ladies and gentlemen. Harmony. Okay? Next natin is balance. We've got two types actually. Excuse me po. We've got the symmetrical and asymmetrical. Balance is the aesthetic quality of a work marked by sensible balance between two areas, the right and the left, the top and the bottom. Ang balanse sa disenyo ay nangangahulugan na ang mga elemento ay naayos ng pantay-pantay o maayos. Kahit pa ito'y asymmetrical, hindi pantay, or symmetrical, which is pantay-pantay. Ang layunin ay magkaroon ng mga puwersa o bigat na pantay-pantay sa buong design. So usually, ito yung principles ng art, ano? Kailangan yung artwork mo, pag nilagyan mo ng daliri rito, ay kailangan magbabalance sila ng ganyan. So, ganyan din ang ating prinsipyo rito. So, as you can see here, medyo nandito ang ating mas malaking bagay na donut shape. And then, this is the smaller form. But then, there is a fulcrum over here which balances itong ating plane na nandirito. So, how do you balance that? Siyempre, dun sa fulcrum mo, dun sa gitna ng iyong disenyo, ay mas ilalapit mo yung mas malaking bagay. Kasi, the further an object is to the fulcrum, like this one, to this one, the less effort it would exert yung kanyang force para mabalanse ito. So, this is a pretty balanced picture kung makikita ninyo. At saka ikaw mismo makakaramdam kung off bang isang bagay o hindi. When we talk about symmetry and asymmetrical, pag sinabi nating symmetrical, ito ay yung pantay-pantay. It refers to the way lines, shapes, and colors and textures are arranged in a piece of art. Pag sinabi natin line symmetry, ito yung merong nahati rito na parang naglagay ka lang ng mirror pero pareho na ito at saka itong side na ito. When we say radial symmetry, you are starting from the middle or of a certain fulcrum and then pare-pareho na kung ano ang mapupuntahan niya towards the edge. When we say asymmetrical balance naman, ito yung hindi pantay-pantay ang pagkakalagay niya ng iba't ibang mga elements dito. However, when you have the fulcrum here sa gitna, makikita mo na yung mga elements nito ay nababalance na kaunti. How do you think so? Well, just imagine that each element like this has weight. And then the closer they are to the center, the lighter they become. And the elements, the small elements, the further they are from the center, the heavier they become. So, that is balance. So, for example, dito sa ating artwork na ito, paano siya nagiging balance? Mas malaki yung buwan, pero nasa mas malayo siya. Pero sa element nito is parang malaki yung buwan. Kasi itong buwan, pag nilagay mo rito, dito sa side na ito, hindi na siya balance. Why? Because para siya nagtitiptoe, no? The same thing here sa element natin na hill and then the three. They are both close to the center which makes them lighter. Now, if you move the hill and the three over here at the side, then it becomes imbalanced kasi mas mabigat na itong side na ito. So, yun ang konsepto ng balance. Mga kanyort-nyort, mga classmate. Next up, we have rhythm and movement. It's creating a sense of direction through repetition of elements. And the movement directs the viewer's eye toward something. Ang daloy ng mga mata ay nagsasaad kung paano bumibiyahe ang mata ng mga tagapanood ng buong disenyo. Ito ay importante upang magkaroon ng magaan at natural na pag-anawa sa nilalaman ng design. Ayan, so this is repetition and we've got the movement lines here. You are sensing the rhythm and movement in this picture. Now the same here, we've got the waves. You can tell the direction kung saan patungo itong wave na ito. Ano po? So we've got the repetition of the patterns here which points towards that area. And then you can sense na itong artwork mo ay may patutunguhan. This is a very beautiful artwork, by the way. It's from Japan. And that is rhythm and movement. Next up, we have elements. We have the principle of design, unity, and variety. It says here, elements should be seen as a whole in unity. Variety still gives a sense of wholeness, but the elements differ in some aspects and provide more interest to the work. Parang kunwari, nagtipon-tipon ng lahat ng mga freshman students ng Northwestern University sa Freshmania, kunwari, ano? And then, they are different. They are all Northwesternian freshmen, so there's the unity. But variety naman, they are having different courses, but the wholeness of them is that they are all freshmen. Di ba? So that is unity and variety. Now let's look at the different artworks. Ito, unity to dahil pare-pareho silang what? Yes, prutas. Pare-pareho silang prutas, mga idol. And what about here? It's also unity. It's a variety. It's a different people in the artwork, but they are all of the same tribe, as implied by their outfit. They're from Africa. So there is unity, and at the same time, there is variety na rin dito sa artwork na ito. Okay, so that is the concept of unity and variety. Dadako naman tayo sa emphasis and subordination. An area or a specific subject is given focus, hence other parts of the picture are subordinated. Ibig sabihin, sa isang artwork, merong ine-emphasize at meron mga supporting na artwork na hindi masyadong ine-emphasize, and they are subordinated. Ang prinsipyong ito ay nangangahulugan ng pagbibigay diin sa tiyak na bahagi o elemento ng disenyo na ginagawang pangunahing bahagi ng atensyon o mensahe ng buong design. For example, in this particular artwork, the emphasis here is the circle. The circle is larger, or the red circle is larger in size and intense. It uses complementary colors. And then we also have subordination. Subordination, the circles are smaller in size and then muted in color, and it blends with the background. So nasa ng emphasis dito? Nandito sa may red circle, nasa ng mga subordinate elements, of course, itong mga circles which are smaller in size. What about here? Paano natin dito kasunod tayong ipakat? Paano natin sasabihin na ito ay gumagamit ng principle na emphasis and subordination? Of course, this person over here. How is he being emphasized? Iba yung kanyang suot. Mas maliwanag yung kanyang kasuotan kumpara sa mga subordinate elements niya na mas madilim. So parang yung focus mo talaga ay napupunta rito sa element na ito. And that, my friends, is the principle of design with emphasis and subordination. Next up, we have scale and proportion. This can be either an appropriate use of scale and proportion, or it can also be an effective way of changing the scale to achieve a certain visual goal. It also shows the relationship between the object and space. Ipinapakita nito kung gaano kalaki or kaliit ang mga elemento ng iyong design base sa gusto mong maging focus or emphasis. For example, pag sinabi natin scale, scale is the relative size of one object to another. Gaano kalaki itong box na ito? Maglagay ka ng isang element dito na relatable. At this point, it's a human. So, alam natin kung ano ang average na human size kumpara sa laki na ito. They are both in the same artwork. Malalaman mo na kung gaano kalaki itong cube na ito. So, kung ang normal na tao ay mga 5'6", ilang kaya to? 5 times 2, 10, 6 plus 6, dalawang 5'6" na tao, 12 is equals to 1 foot, so 5, 5, 10, 11. So masasabi natin siguro approximately 11 feet itong object na ito. Now, when we say proportion, it is the relative size of parts of a whole. Proportion ba ang mata mo sa iyong tenga, sa iyong ilong, sa iyong bibig, ano? Now, that is proportion. Pag off siya, edi hindi proportion. Like for example, yung tenga mo, tignan mo nga kung proportion siya sa mata mo or sa ilong mo. Well, may mga taong ganon. May mga bagay na ganon. Pero that is not of the normal size. Alam natin minsan kung anong relasyon ng ating mata sa ating iba't ibang parte ng ating mukha, no? For example, sabi nga nila, ang puso mo daw proportionate sa iyong fist, ano? Yung puso mo ay ganito kalaki. Ang iyong right fist. Yung brain mo naman daw ganito kalaki. Lang yung left fist. Yung brain na nasa ulo mo. But I'm not sure though. Hindi ko pa kasi nakita yung brain ko. So, There you go. Now, here's examples of scale and proportion. For example, ito, ine-emphasize niya yung malaking-malaking spoon at saka yung cherry. O, paano mo makikita kung gaano kalaki to? Siyempre, you look at the lake, which is over here. At familiar tayo kung gaano kalaki ang mga talahib na ito. So, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung gaano kalaki naman ang kutsarang ito at ang cherry na ito. Okay. Depth and perspective. It shows three-dimensionality of a space through the use of perspective lines and vanishing points. Ano? Sa Tagalog, ang depth ay lalim, samantalang ang perspective naman ay pananaw. Pag sinabi nating vanishing point, like for example, nandito, ito yung viewpoint, ito yung vantage point mo, ano? And then you're looking to the horizon. Now, there is what we call the vanishing point. So, doon nag-e-end ang iyong pwedeng makonstrue ng iyong utak. We call that the vanishing point. Now, itong linya naman na ito, dito yung curvature ng, ito yung mismong horizon na tinatawag natin. We call that the horizon line. Paano natin ipinapakita ang depth and perspective through vanishing point and the horizon line. For example, itong artwork na ito. We are viewing it from this perspective. And where is the vanishing point? Over here. Nasaan yung kanyang horizon? Somewhere over here. Pero this is from the vantage point na kung saan ay nasa ilalim ka, and then you are looking up, makikita mo na malalim ang yung kinaroroonan at medyo malayo-layo. Kahit na sabihin na natin na isang dangkal lang ito at saka to pag yung sinukat, ano? Pero alam mo na malalim siya because it has a vanishing point and it shows the depth from this perspective. Whoa! Tapos na pala. Kaya maraming salamat. Thank you so much, and you review this and it will be part of your graded recitation in your quizzes and your exams. Maraming salamat, and aral kayo mabuti, and always enjoy art.